Hi, Katerina here.
Hi, Tori.
Tori's a little sad to be on the podcast again today.
Never get a warning.
She feels off. I don't necessarily plan the podcast to be on a specific day of the week anymore. No. I tried that, and then the problem is because there's an infant, the days are just kind of extremely unpredictable. And I had wanted to do them to where they could kind of be like recorded the same time every week and released the same time every week. It's just not doable right now.
Yeah, this season.
This season is hard. So it just has to be done when it can be done. So here we are. And if you are watching on YouTube instead of listening to the recording, you will notice we are in a different location this week. We usually do this in my living room on my couch. This week we're doing it in my office. This is a little table in the corner of my office, and it is a different location for the podcast, but weirdly enough, we've gotten some attention on YouTube, and
I don't know how I feel about
I
that.
don't understand it at all. Honestly, I feel like the quality of these videos is so piss poor. I just do not understand how that has happened.
Yeah.
And we've like hit something with the algorithms, and now people are actually watching these on YouTube. So I thought for 1 week, let's just test it out and see if we actually try and make the video quality a little less homemade looking. Like our parents' camcorder situation, and just see how YouTube, if it likes it better or likes it worse. So it's a little bit of an experiment. We'll see how this goes, doing the different location, and hopefully we have a little bit better lighting, and there's no sliding glass door in this room, so that won't be interrupting the sound on here. So we'll see how this goes. So thank you for joining us on a Curated Life podcast. It is St. Patrick's Day today. Not gonna lie, I didn't realize that until the day came.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny, I put on my phone, if I need to remember something in the morning, usually it's you or Daryl that I put like a message, but I don't send it. And mine last night was wear green. And Daryl saw me do it, and he was like, do you do that? Like, are you going to send that to somebody? And I was like, no, it's just a reminder. It's just an easy way.
So you definitely wanted to make sure to wear green today. It didn't even when I remembered it was, or realized it, I still wasn't like no. I should wear green. No. Tori did pinch me though, in case you were wondering. So
yes, I did.
I did get pinched. I got punished for my insolence. And Tori's wearing her favorite color, actually. A chartreuse green is her
I didn't have
favorite.
A lot of green, which is shocking.
That is weird.
Like I like green.
You love that color.
Yeah.
So that is the holiday today. And I think a lot of people do celebrate and enjoy this Irish-inspired holiday. I know I have Irish heritage.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. When people ask me what my heritage is, I usually say white trash. Because my family's just from all over the place, and it's like a touch of Native American, but then like all this like Irish and Polish, and
I feel like I don't know mine, but I'm sure it's Irish.
I'm pretty
like it
look at you.
Seems on trend.
Yeah, well that's what I'm like. Look at us,
right?
Pasty
as
white
as it gets.
Yeah, I've got freckles, and you're almost a redhead. So there's Irish there, but it's interesting. I do feel like I've missed out a little bit because I don't have a strong tie to any sort of heritage, which is why I make the white trash joke, because I'm like, we didn't have any like, oh, in our family.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about mine either.
That
just a white girl from Mississippi.
Just from Mississippi.
Country, redneck, hey.
Howdy. I do know like some of my family history, but I've had to piece it together because my grandmother won't talk about the things that could be perceived as negative unless she's been drinking. Oh, okay. So you have to like,
you gotta get it up
you
the
have
right
to
moment.
catch her a few drinks in, and then she'll like share a little bit more. But if she's sober, you're gonna be like, but your dad was extremely abusive, right? She's like, no, he never was abusive. And you're like, that's not, for sure that's not true. I'm pretty sure he used to beat you guys with belts. So anyway, that's one interesting fact.
Nobody would think that about you. So that's interesting.
That my family has some rough history.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure my great-great-grandfather was like borderline a pedophile and knocked up my great-great-grandmother when she was 14.
Ooh,
yeah. Like, oh gosh. I'm so sorry, Grandma, if you're listening. But I think it's important to talk about these things because I think it's really cool that in my family, like, I can look and when you know a little bit about the history, very vividly see how things have improved generation to generation.
No, they have.
And how they did better.
You wouldn't expect that
every single time. Yeah. And to be clear, it's more my mom's side. I don't think my dad's side is. There's some mess there, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as my mom's. So I don't have any strong ties to any of my heritage at all. Yeah. But on that topic, something that I thought we could talk about because it's St. Patrick's Day is what I think about as St. Patrick's Day has nothing to do with family tradition or holiday. We did not go out of our way to celebrate. As I said, I didn't even think to wear green. I was like, my eyes are green, that counts, right? But I think of luck when I think of St. Patrick's Day. You know, everyone uses the phrase luck of the Irish. Mm-hmm. And St. Patrick's Day, I looked it up because I was like, I don't actually, like, it is the day about luck. It's actually, so I guess St. Patrick supposedly brought Christianity to Ireland. And so, like, he's their patron saint.
See, I don't know the history about it.
And so it's like in his honor, this holiday. But then the holiday came over to America.
Right, and we just chose to drink over it.
Yeah. So now it's like a completely secular holiday.
It's basically like go beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's nothing religious about this holiday, but the origins of it have to do with the patron saint of Ireland who brought Christianity to Ireland. And then there is something with the shamrock. Lola, come on. Go on. There is something with the shamrock, but it's actually, I guess, originally it was not a... Wow. I'm so sorry that the dog is barking. I love that for this podcast.
Never fails.
It wasn't before... every time. She could go all day and not bark, and we're going to record a podcast, and that's going to happen.
And it's over immediately.
And I think the 4-leaf clover is another, so the 3-leaf clover is, I think the legend is that St. Patrick used that to explain the Holy Trinity. So that is why that's like an Irish thing. But the 4-leaf clover is supposed to be good luck. Like that is something that's actually from Ireland, is the 4-leaf clover. And I don't remember the exact word of the wording that was used to describe it. But it is supposed to be good luck. So that's what I think about when I think about St. Patrick's Day. I think most people do think like beer, which I mean, same, I guess. I've been having babies for so many years that I don't get to celebrate properly. I guess. No, this time last year I probably just had my kids on St. Patrick's Day because I feel like I didn't celebrate, but I could have because I didn't know I was pregnant yet. Yeah. So, but I didn't celebrate. So I want to talk a little bit about luck in honor of St. Patrick's Day since I didn't wear green. I actually put a little poll type thing on my Instagram stories a little while ago about luck, and I don't remember there was like a quote or something that I had posted, and I said that it kind of makes me angry when people call me lucky. I do not like to be called lucky. And I kind of done a poll asking people, like, do you believe in luck? Do you believe that your success is because of luck? Or do you think it's because of things that you've done? It was interesting. There was a wide variety of responses. I think it was like pretty split. Like some people were like, no, there's no such thing as luck. And then a lot of people did believe in luck. And a lot of people messaged me and were like, it's a mix. Like It's your hard work, but it's also luck. Would you mind trying to set her down with her toy?
Yeah.
Let's see if Salem wants to play. We'll see how that goes. And then I can actually button my shirt up like like an adult. But for me, I feel like sometimes we use the word luck when we should be using the word opportunity. And Lola, please. She's laying on the ground, so she's clearly not that concerned about whatever's happening that's upsetting her, but she's like chuffing from the ground. Lay down. She's like totally relaxed by gonna bark. Love that. There's a quote that I really love, and I hate that I can't remember who said this. I'll have to look it up later, but it's luck is when hard work and preparation meets opportunity.
I like that. Yeah.
So it's like, I think people use the word luck out of jealousy a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're so lucky. And it's like, are they lucky, or did they make some really good choices and put the right energy in at the right time?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Or also, like, I think another thing is, like, luck also comes from, people like to use luck when they're meaning privilege. I feel like, too.
Oh,
somebody
that's a great point.
had to work for that privilege, you know? Like,
Mhm.
I think that goes hand in hand together, too.
Well, and it's like, no, you're totally right. Like, I would say I've been, you can probably hear Salem. She's going to be blowing raspberries this entire podcast because that is her new favorite thing. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
She will also be talking during this recording, and that is what it is. Also, I want to apologize for my disposable straw use. I do not condone single-use plastics as much as I possibly
really
can. I looked at the camera and I'm like, oh, this looks bad. Because you could tell this is not a paper straw. But somebody bought, I'm not making this up, somebody who I love dearly was taking care of me and bought me a container of single-use straws, and my kids do love straws, and so I am going to use them until they're gone, and that's why there's a straw. But if I had bought them, they'd be paper, which paper straws are crap, and they disintegrate in your mouth.
Terrible.
And then I also have a lot of reusable straws, like on this cup.
I use the reusable.
It is my preference to have a reusable straw, but these single-use straws were already here. They were bought for me. I really appreciate the gesture. I just don't want to look like I hate sea turtles. I love the sea turtles. I've been to the sea turtle hospital many times down in the Keys.
You know how, like, when your sodas come in those little, like, round plastic, I always cut them up. And Daryl laughs at me. He's like, you're saving the sea turtles?
Yes.
And I was like, every time, every chance that I can get.
Good job. Good job, Tori. Listen, we're not going to be perfect over here. There's only so much effort we can put into saving the earth. I'm trying to save myself right now. But it's the little
everybody
things.
else is spitting for themselves.
Yeah. But if we just do little things and everyone's just trying their best, I think it helps. I think it makes a difference. Thank you, Salem. And she's just like staring right at us.
She's like, the sea turtle.
Raspberries.
Exactly.
She's like, this is amazing. Look what I can do. Okay. Back on topic.
Yeah, back to what we started talking about.
So, and I think the majority of people in America, not all of us, experience some kind of privilege. And like I have, my parents worked really, really hard to be able to support me in certain ways when I was young, like giving me a good education.
Yeah.
And that did create an opportunity for success.
Right.
And I think there could be a way to look at that and be like, oh, well, she's so lucky.
Yeah, she
like,
got lucky with her parents.
Right. She was like born into a good family, and that's lucky. And that is a great opportunity, and it does put you way ahead. Yeah. And like, I was able to.
But it's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like coming out of college without student loans was a great opportunity. Having a good education was a good opportunity. Having support. But there are also people that are offered all the opportunity in the world
Exactly.
and don't make anything of it. And I feel like when I was coming out of college, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go be on my own, I'm gonna go do my own thing. I actually, even in college, I felt an immense amount of pressure, not because my parents put that on me. They never said like, we expect great things from you. That was never said, for sure. They didn't even like ask me what my grades were. As long as I didn't fail out, we were good. But I think because I had been given certain things, I felt obligated to make the most of those opportunities, because not everybody gets opportunities like that. So like for me in college, my parents paid for all of my classes, which was amazing, and I knew that that was expensive and a sacrifice. And I can legitimately say the 3.5 years it took me to get my degree, I did not skip one class. Not even one. And it was because Tori's like, I got it.
Oh, well, that is my cue to leave.
No comment. But and that's not a judgment on anyone who did skip class. But for me personally, I knew my parents were paying for that out of their pocket, and it felt like if I skip one, I've taken that gift and I've thrown it in the trash.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, not skipping class probably did not affect my long-term future at all. Like, at all. But I think it just, I think that, I don't know that we can subscribe the title luck to these things when it's like, two different people can be handed a college education but do something totally different with it. Or, because I went to Longwood, I was able to use my alumni connections to get the interview that led to my first job out of college. And you could say, like, you're so lucky to have those connections. Or it could be, I had an opportunity.
And you took advantage of it.
I took advantage of it. And then I still had to, like, show up and be impressive, or I wouldn't have gotten the job. And then when I did get the job, I had to really, really hustle because it was really hard. And I feel like you're a great example of that, because I feel like your life is a good mix of challenge and opportunity.
Yeah.
And then also, I feel like something that you struggle with a little bit is recognizing that you have the capacity and you have what it takes to fully capitalize on an opportunity. And I think you question yourself because you don't see yourself as lucky.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that word doesn't exist in my...
When you use the word luck, you're saying, I have bad luck.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, I don't believe in that either, by the way. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, mine all feels bad.
Tori's like, I got bad luck, I got bad juju.
Yeah, I always, like, joke about, like, somebody having my voodoo doll. So, that's where I'm at with the luck thing.
Anytime something bad happens to me, she's like, it's me, I've brought this on us.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm rubbing off on Kat, my, like, unluckiness.
Like,
my voodoo.
Like, no, it's not. Life is just hard. It's hard for everybody.
Yes.
Oh, Salem. Okay, would you mind grabbing her?
Yeah.
She's like, I want to be in the podcast, and I'm going to talk very loudly until I get to be there. Which, that's another side of the same coin, talking about bad luck. Because I feel like there's a lot of times where somebody could say bad luck when it's like, is it luck, or is it life is hard and life is challenging? And also sometimes we make bad choices.
Yeah, that's that too. A lot of mine, though, are not, well, some of them are bad choices.
I'm not saying yours.
But some of it's just life.
Right,
And
like
it
life
happens.
is hard for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't had a challenging life, it's probably really boring. Good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Congrats.
You're not allowed to be friends with us.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to hear about it, okay? If everything has been easy and hunky-dory for you.
Yeah, you don't belong here.
Move along. Just kidding.
Yeah.
You're probably just really young and it's coming for you.
Yeah. Oh.
Not to be like a total downer, but like as an adult, something that I'm just like, I say to myself all the time, I'm like, being an adult is just like every day you're going to get a gut punch. Like, it's just a punch to the face every day. The question isn't like, is something gonna punch you in the face? It's like, how hard am I gonna get hit?
Right.
Because yesterday the hit was very small, but today it might be big. And there are some times where like that kind of dissipates a little bit, and then you go through a season where you're like, every damn day, like it's constant.
Sometimes it's harder to get back up, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I felt that way recently with Theo, my dog, getting sick, and I tried like really hard to do what I could to save him, and I gave him every medical opportunity that money can afford, and it just didn't work over and over again. And so it was like again and again and again, this disappointment of like having to take him back in, feeling like he's not doing well, and then like, okay, we're gonna try this, and then feeling like, okay, maybe this is what it will take, and then we'll be good for a little while. And it just didn't work, and eventually it was time to stop trying. And like that felt like a gut punch, like again and again and again, and it was constantly upsetting.
And this is something terrible that my mom's like has always said, and then it's like passed on to me, is that everything comes in threes. And usually like it's checked out. Like it's like when you get a hard season, you're like, okay, what's next? Like, and then we get to 3, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna get better now. And I like mentally,
for 3 bad
yes, like I mentally do that, and it's not okay.
I do not do that.
Yeah, I feel that way. I mean, that's just, my mom did that to me. So
thanks, Kim.
But it just has always, seemed that way for us. See, have you heard that? Like
I've definitely heard that.
No, my mom like believes it.
I have
like to her core
heard that. I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I just feel that like bad things happen a lot of the time because that's the world that we live in. Is like hard things are gonna happen, and I think like the dog thing. It was really Theo passing. It was very unfortunate. He was not as old as I would have anticipated.
It was just shocking.
He was so healthy his whole life, and then it went downhill so fast, and it really was not something I was like prepared to deal with. And
there was not a moment where you could like catch your breath in it.
No,
it was just
it was
like
one thing after another. It was like constantly upsetting. And I think that like there's a way to look at that where you could say like that was so unlucky. Like you adopted this dog, made him well, loved him so much, and then he got sick in a way that like you couldn't fix. And even though you tried everything there was to try, like you couldn't help him be better for longer, and you lost him so quickly. It's like, that could be seen as unlucky, but it also could be seen as like what a blessing to have had him for that time. And then also like when I adopted him, I did that with the knowledge that that day would come, that like I was gonna love him and I was gonna lose him long before I was gonna be done living.
Right.
And so we sign up for this heartache when we choose to love something or someone. And I've read a lot of beautiful things recently about how love and grief are so intimately intertwined, and they really are.
They are.
And you can't have one without the other, even in a love that lasts forever, like the love that you have for your family, your mom, your child. Like there are going to be things that you have to grieve because of your love for that person.
I don't feel like you fully understand love until you have to grieve it. Honestly, like that is,
you haven't fully experienced it until something has happened like that. And again, like I think we can look at it and be like, oh, so unlucky. And that is one way to look at it.
Yeah.
But it is like, is it a luck thing, or is it just this is part of how things happen, and it's part of choosing to love someone? And luck goes the same way. Like I know people who are in marriages that I don't know a lot of people like this, but I know people who are in marriages that are wonderful, or I'm pretty sure they're wonderful. I don't think it's fake. I think
we talk about this.
Yeah. Like There are some marriages where you're like, I think that's real.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's hard to not say, like, wow, she's so
So
lucky. Like,
so
but
lucky.
you don't, yeah, and that goes again with the, like, positive mindset thing. Like, positive people, happy people choose happy people.
Yeah.
So, it's not a luck thing. It's the way that, the experiences that you have and the way that you handle them.
Right. They picked a really wonderful person and that ended up being their person.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, we don't know what kind of things they had to go through to become the person they had to be or to get their relationship to the point it is now.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe when they were going through those things, we would have said how unlucky and how much I would not have wanted to experience that. So I think while we can look and say, okay, success or successful relationships or whatever you want to look at, we could say, oh, well, it's both. It's luck and it's effort. But it's like...
But yeah, you can look at those people's marriages and know that they're putting both sides of that is putting effort in. Like, that is effort.
Yeah, that's a great point. That didn't just happen.
Yeah.
They had to, even
that's
the people
work.
who, like, truly are soulmates and they're supposed to be together, like, they are putting effort
and
in.
they choose each other, and it's important for them.
And they've had to work through things.
Yeah.
And, like, if they hadn't, they wouldn't have this. So, like, I don't see it as luck. I see it as opportunity meets hard work, dedication, preparation, what have you. And I think that many people I think if it was really luck, it wouldn't matter how you react in the situation, the outcome would be the same.
Exactly.
And I think most things in life, the way that you react in a situation is everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's kind of like the poem, I am the captain of my ship, I am the master of my soul. Like, I believe that we do have free will, and that she's just staring at Tori so intently. Salem loves Tori. Is that your buddy? She's like,
so we're with each other almost every day, and I know that person.
She sees her a lot. But I do feel like a lot of that is true. And obviously there have been some things in my life that extremely did not go according to plan.
Right.
Many things that did not go according to plan.
Same.
Like, we might have this whole idea of, like, this is how things are supposed to go.
Like, that's why I don't like planning. I don't like that. You're like, that you're taking it too far. Yeah. But no, like that, like, I don't want to be disappointed or feel unlucky. So I prefer to just take life.
Okay. Let's address that for a second, though, because that's a whole other issue. Yeah. This, like, and I do, like, I have a fear of disappointment. I don't want to be disappointed.
The two of us both.
We both have that issue. And I very much like to feel in control and in charge. Mm-hmm. But a healthy whole life and the best opportunities we're going to have come when we are willing to step, I think, into a situation where there is opportunity for disappointment. And something I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, and we'll probably bring it up again, and my grandmother and I were talking about a couple days ago, is your highs can only be as high as your lows go low. Mm-hmm. And so without the opportunity for disappointment, you can't have the opportunity for joy. So while it's hard sometimes to shoot for something or plan for something that could go wrong because there could be disappointment there, you also will not have the reward or the satisfaction from it going right if you never try.
Right.
Hi.
Yeah, if you don't have the really bad, like, you won't have the really good.
Yeah.
You won't know what that.
And when it comes to success, I think it's important to remember that, I think this is another quote that I cannot remember the origin of, but I love it so much, is that doubt has killed more dreams than failure ever will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's
well, you
so
think about
true.
Like, the most successful people, like, in the world, like, a lot of them have came from nothing and built it from
and they
the
just
ground up.
went for it.
Yeah,
and
and
they had to go for it fully.
A lot of them are college dropouts.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, you have to fail.
College dropouts, people who have been through bankruptcies, failed marriages, the whole thing. And like in anything where there's opportunity to succeed greatly,
you can't tell those people that they're lucky. Like,
right,
that they just did it on luck.
They had to risk a lot to get there. And there might be risk of reward, but anywhere that exists, there's also risk of failure and disappointment. And I think it can be hard because that's a form of being vulnerable and like opening yourself up to be hurt when you try to go for something and you like try to take advantage of an opportunity. And I've had so many conversations with people in the past where they clearly just didn't believe they were capable of this thing. Like, I remember when I was a newer loan officer and I was like 21 doing mortgages. I was a baby. And there were these like 35-year-old men all around me doing mortgages, and they had been doing it since they were, you know, in their 20s. And I definitely had a lot of imposter syndrome, but I knew like I had to go for it, and I was either going to fail or succeed. And there'd be so many things where it's like, okay, I have to tackle this new thing, and it felt really overwhelming. And I know you know that feeling where you're like looking at something and you're like, this is too much and I will never understand this.
Yeah. Math.
Any math. That's how Tori feels about it.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling exactly.
Give her a math problem, she'll feel that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this was, some of it was math problems. It was these new systems, processes, stuff I had never been exposed to, concepts I hadn't been exposed to because I was an infant doing mortgages. And I would have to give myself pep talks all the time, like, these other people who are out there doing loans are normal people. They are not smarter than you. They don't have a harder work ethic than you. Maybe some of them, but most of them were just average humans. We're all just normal people. If they can learn it and they can do it, so can I. And I had to give myself that pep talk so many times because there were times where things felt overwhelming. It was like, if I try to do this, I'm not going to be able to figure out. This is really overwhelming. I don't know what I'm doing. And I had to like kind of take a deep breath and be like, if someone else can accomplish this, I can accomplish it too.
Right.
Like, you're not dumber than everyone else. You might have like certain handicaps, like math problems. But there are other things where you have more skill than someone else. And honestly, I think at the end of the day, most of success, some of it's raw material, right? But I think most of it's just like you're either willing to put the work in or you're not.
Yeah.
And
I think mine comes not from, I don't think I push myself as much as I let others make me want to push myself, if that makes sense. Like, when I took the break I took a break off college, my last semester, I took a semester off. And it was like everybody saying that I wouldn't go back, I wouldn't finish it. I couldn't wait
to go back.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what pushed me to do it.
I love that.
So I think I get pushed by other people telling me I can't do things.
And they're like, now I have to.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by being like inspired by other people's doubt in you. Like, okay, you don't think I'm capable of this thing. Let me show you.
Yeah.
But also.
But that's what I guess motivates me the most.
And I think you also have to find people that do believe in you, so that you also have the positive side of somebody who's pushing you in a positive way. Because I think we're always going to have like naysayers who are like, that's too much, that's too hard, that's not realistic, whatever. I mean, I can't tell you how many times growing up I was told that if you're a good mom, you're a stay-at-home mom. And also that I would have to choose. I would have to choose between having a great career or being someone who shows up for my family. And it had to be one or the other, and I was going to have to make a choice. And if I was a good mom, I wouldn't choose my career. And that like weighed on me a lot because I knew I was going to have children one way or another. Right. And like I knew that was something that was meant for me. And I think there was like a little bit of a crisis when I had Kyla. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here, and I want to make the right choices. And there's been a lot of evolution in between, but it turns out that's not true.
Yeah.
At all. And you can have both. And I have all the respect for stay-at-home moms and working moms. Both of those roles are extremely difficult.
Right. Just on their own.
Yeah, just them. But I don't think it's appropriate or accurate to say you have to pick. You have to pick your kids or your career. You have to pick your kids or yourself. And I love that saying that gets shared a lot, where it's like, we always say we will die for our children. Parents love to say, I would die for my kids, but would you live for them?
Yeah.
And like, I think it's important to set an example and think about what kind of life would I want for my kids? Not like, what exact choices do I want them to make? Because maybe one of your kids will be a stay-at-home parent, and one of them will be a working parent, one of them won't be a parent at all. That's not the part I'm talking about. The part I'm talking about is how you treat yourself and your own dreams and your own decisions and the choices that you make. And do you set an example with whatever path you take of being somebody who takes care of themselves and doesn't put on this role of being a martyr?
Yeah.
Because if you do that,
each kid, like, each of your children, like, say one of them chooses to be a stay-at-home mom, one of them chooses not to have kids. You want them to admire something that they've learned from you or picked from you, whether that is career or mom or both, or like, you want them to admire or like make them feel like they've got a piece of that you taught them.
Right, that they can pull from what they've seen in me to make the choices that's right for them.
Right.
So it's not about, like, I don't need any of my girls to have like a balling career and be at home with their kids all the time and do things exactly how I did it.
Right.
But what I do want for them is to make the choices that are right for them. And that's the example that I want to set, is like, I want to look at the opportunities around me and make the choices that are right for me, so that I can set an example of somebody who is not afraid to fail, who can pursue success with confidence, and also feels like I can have the things that I want the most. Like, you can't have all things, but you can have the things that you want the most and dedicate yourself to those things. And you can it's a struggle, but doing it in a way that you're not sacrificing everything that you need for yourself. And I don't want to treat myself in a way that I wouldn't want my daughters treating themselves.
Right.
So I wouldn't want, if my daughters want to have a career, I would not want them to choose not to work just because they feel like they're being a crappy mom. Or if my daughters don't want to have kids, I don't want them to have kids just because they feel like that won't be fulfilling as a woman, as a person. And so hopefully I can set this example of like, figure out what you need and what feels right and fulfilling in your heart, and like fully pursue that. And that's where the luck will come in.
Right.
I think we'll see.
Hi. Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like we were brought up very differently in those two ways, where like Tori, I think like you came and started working here almost because I forced you to. I didn't give her much of a choice. But I don't think you had a ton of confidence stepping into this role.
Yeah, no.
Even though you have all the tools it takes to succeed. But I think that I think there are people that could look at you and be like, oh, she's so lucky. Like, she wanted to have a career in real estate. She's always been able to have a career in real estate from college. And then, like, someone you're related to.
She landed a job after college in real estate. She always said she wanted to do it.
Right. And, like, people just liked you, and so you were, like, given opportunities. But it's, like, the reality is, if you were not the right fit for those situations and you didn't go for it, these things would not have happened for you. Or, like, for you to come be at this job now, you had to move your entire life.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. So I don't think it's appropriate to be like, oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel that way for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, to the people that you look at them and you go, maybe there are some people out there that feel like, I was so lucky. That was easy as hell.
Well, I've heard that even in real estate. Like, oh, you're so lucky with your career. You get to, like, look at pretty houses and sneeze and write a contract. And
It's like,
that's
easy.
yeah, you just make all this money. Like, it is hard work.
You work for free
And
a lot.
You also have to really be cut out for it. Like,
yeah, no, it is heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll beat you up.
But people, I feel like, look at it like that.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
It's like, oh, what a glamorous job you have.
It's like so flexible, and you can like do it how you want. It's like, I mean, it is.
Because I've gotten that a lot before, like, especially like people my age are like, oh, I just love following you, like,
so
on Instagram.
Glamorous.
You get to look at all these beautiful houses, and it's not like hard work or anything, right?
No. It's like, and then sometimes we write a contract on a garbage can, and then it falls through.
Or you've been working with a client for forever, and
it doesn't work out.
Yeah,
and like
it's.
Gosh,
yeah, it doesn't feel lucky.
No, that's a good point too, is like everyone's posting their highlight reels and we're posting like the best moments of our days. Like I bet most of us do look lucky.
Well, I got like, I guess it was somewhat, I think it was like last year. I hadn't seen like a friend in a long time, and they were like, wow, like you must be doing really well. Like you seem like you travel all the time. Like you're so lucky you get to do that. And I was like, I feel like I haven't traveled or done like, I feel like I've got my head in the dirt, like, just trying to make it. Like, and yeah, she's, like, looking at my Instagram. I hadn't touched base with her in a long time. And she's like, I feel like you're just, like, living your life, like, your best life. And I'm like, yeah, no.
But, like, maybe you take more like vacation days than the typical person your age would take, but that's because you also work whenever you're needed to work.
Right.
So like tomorrow's Saturday and Tori and I will be at the office because it's needed, it's necessary. There is a client that we need to do a consultation with. It's like a very important deal to us, and so we've had to do preparation for this meeting, and then we're gonna spend time in the middle of the day on a Saturday meeting with this person, and then afterwards we have showings and stuff. So it would be so easy to look and be like, I'm pretty sure she gets more like quote unquote vacation days. But also like Tori could be on vacation and I could be texting her like, hey, can you set up this contract and this transaction? Like that doesn't
or like I could be on vacation and sacrificing money because I'm not here.
Absolutely. Like if we leave town, like we miss
important.
deals. We make less money. Yeah. It's a big deal. So it is funny, like the way people's highlight reels look, and it makes it so easy to look around and be like, all these people are so lucky, and then there's my life, and it's like those are highlight reels. Actually, my cousin Kaylin posted a little thing that she wrote today that I thought was really cool about how like especially today on St. Patrick's Day, there's going to be a lot of people posting about like partying, and they're going to be out having fun, and like kudos to you if you're doing that. That's fantastic. And it's so easy to look at these highlight reels and be like, everyone else has a cooler life than I do, everyone else is having more fun, but it's like they're posting their best moments just like you're posting your best moments. It's not a luck thing. Or like if someone does have some friends who they really adore, who they're spending this time with, like maybe there was some opportunity they had that you didn't have to meet these people, but they also had to cultivate those friendships. They've had to put effort into those friendships. Like friendships don't necessarily just fall into your lap. You have to do something with them or they don't become anything. Friendships aren't like, it's not just like I all of a sudden have this best friend. You have to try to have relationships.
Yeah, it's work.
And I think anything in life, I see it that way. And maybe that's why I hate the word luck so much, is because I think anything good that you have, there is going to be challenge and difficulty to earn it. And I think the best things in life have to be earned. Yeah. They're not just given to you. There's nothing that's like going to be free that's going to be awesome. Right. I mean, kids are a great example. They're so difficult. They're so wonderful. Right, Saban? Any other thoughts, Tori?
No.
Oh, luck, bad luck, all that. So moral of the story, I guess, that's how I feel about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to reach out, let me know how you feel. I'll share it on another podcast. But if you have been listening, please leave a review on whatever platform is your favorite. And I would love to know what platform is your favorite or how we could make the podcast better. Like I said, we're doing this in a little bit of a different way this week because of YouTube liking us, which is unexpected. Like, really, I had just been posting this on YouTube because the recording was there anyway. Like,
Right.
I don't think it makes sense to create content and then just not put it anywhere. So it's just putting it on YouTube. But so we'll see how this goes with this different way of going about it. But whatever platform is your favorite to listen to the podcast, please go ahead, leave a review. That would be helpful. Send me your feedback. I love, some of you reached out after my last podcast with my sister and had really sweet things to say, and I really appreciate that. And a couple really wonderful people shared about the podcast on Instagram. That was super cool. And I just appreciate that support because I really do so much enjoy the idea of sharing with a community of like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way to do that doesn't really cost us very much of anything, that we get to share our thoughts and then like connect with people over these ideas that we share. So thank you for listening to a Curated Life podcast, and we'll be back soon.
Bye.